I'm going to teach you something incredibly useful that you've almost certainly never been taught before. It can change your life and it can transform your career. But the thing is, no one ever taught it to me, and I wonder why. I spent a lot of time in school learning to conjugate Latin verbs, and I ground my way through trigonometry and the dates of medieval wars. And I memorized the key exports of African countries and the table of elements and the names of all the US vice presidents. But I never ever studied the very thing that I've made a living from my entire life. As far as I can tell, there's no country on earth where they teach the creative process in school. Not as a straight up part of the curriculum, not in elementary school, high school, business school, not even in art school. Rather than teach it like any other useful discipline, we treat creativity like it was some kind of weird alchemy, like it's a God-given gift, a luck of the draw. But it's not. It's a process which has basic elements that can be written on a blackboard, just like the Pythagorean theorem. And these basic steps, once you understand them, can be used to unlock creativity in any field: art, music, finance, medicine, sports, technology, politics, you name it. And it's a mystery why creativity isn't a formal part of the basic curriculum in schools. Like most essential skills, the creative process makes theoretical sense when it's written down, but it takes a lot of work and practice to put it into useful use. Just as a music teacher can write "every good boy does fine" on the board, it takes years for our students to actually master the violin. And studying organic chemistry doesn't make you a gifted surgeon. And football coaches run drills and drills and drills to get ready for the coming season. And creativity works the same way. Practice makes it habit. And school is the ideal place and the perfect time to study the basics of creativity from a young age, and then inculcate that process so that every student learns to be a successful problem solver. But it doesn't happen. So pay attention, and I'll take you through the basics here instead. Creativity has three main steps. Let's call them ready, fire, and aim. First, you have to get ready. You have to gather your materials. You have to reap and harvest and hunt down the elements that are going to go into your creative stew. You have to embrace the riches of the universe. You have to watch movies. You have to read books. You have to study the masters. You have to listen to all sorts of music. You have to have conversations with strangers on the bus. You have to wander and roam and explore and fill your brain until it's groaning at the seams. You have to develop a marrow-deep habit of open curiosity, delving into all kinds of disciplines and cultures for the way that they approach problems and innovate and improvise. And cultivating an energetic, open, absorbent mind, that's the first part of the creative process. And as you get ready, your subconscious mind will be diving deep into this reservoir of inspiration, and it'll be making connections. And it'll be putting disparate pieces of information together in random, infinite ways. And it'll be linking a musical theme with an historical fact, with a snippet of a conversation, with a data chart, and a recipe for Greek meatballs. The cauldron is going on simmer, and the ingredients are going to start to melt into a rich broth. And that takes time, private time. Just the reservoir of your brain perking and bubbling with no adult supervision. You can't open the oven door in the middle. You got to just distract your conscious mind, and you got to let the juices flow. No amount of straining or worrying is going to help this stage. In fact, it's quite the contrary. You got to trust in the process. Take a nap, play a game, stare out the window, take a shower, floss. And suddenly, poof, stuff will appear. Ideas will pop like kernels. And at this stage, you'll spew out all sorts of ideas, good ideas, but also bad ones and weird ones and useless ones. You will be a well-fed meadow. Your rich soil will be like a magnet for seeds from across the world, sprouting up flowers and fruits and weeds and trees in abundance, an unmanicured cacophony of abundance. But that's not the end, because what appears is still raw. It's full of potential, but it's not ready for prime time. So next to the hardest part, you got to polish, you got to prune, you got to evaluate, you got to execute. And this requires a gear change in your head. You have to switch from that wide-eyed stage of readiness and the wild energy of firing to a methodical, critical period in which you kind of cull the herd down to a few solid ideas that you want to test and refine and critique and polish into gems that can change the game. Creativity is at its heart a teachable, learnable process. Learn it and apply it, and you'll be prepared for any career path, any eventuality. You'll write creative legal briefs. You'll make creative contributions to your manufacturing process. You'll launch creative tech startups. You'll create new recipes and symphonies and traffic ordinances and budget proposals. Creativity is this essential skill, and it's never too late to learn and to practice it to make the world a better place. That's all there is to it. So, 1, ready. Fill your well with inspiration and let it simmer. 2, fire. Relax and let the ideas flow. And 3, aim. Pick the potential winners and then refine that raw ore into diamonds. It's not easy, but now you know how it's done. The idea for this video started with one of the essays that I write every week. I write them just to send out to people who subscribe, and they're free. And I do it for the same reason that I make YouTube videos, because I have ideas and I really want to share them with you. You can get my essays too if you'd like. Just go to dannysessays.com, tell me where you want to get them, and I'll start sending them to you this week. I hope you do. Thanks for listening.